Three Grumpy Gamers.
Welcome back once again, avid listeners, to the biannual World Championship of Hide and Seek, sponsored by the McCann family. I'm Jerry Big G McCann.
I'm Kate, not a crook McCann.
Hi, and via satellite link, I'm Maddie. Bet you still can't find me. Nice.
No, I'm not.
I'm also using a voice modulator to sound like a 39-year-old man.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm currently disguised as one too.
If anybody ever listens to this, we gets sued badly or some shit. I don't
Oh
know.
man, so fucking what?
What, like every other fucking episode?
What are they going to sue me for? A fucking Cannon Monster and a PS4.
Right, so I want to kick off with our favourite games developer, Ubisoft.
I'm out. I'm out of the podcast. I'm out of the Three Grumpy Gamers and shit.
Check this shit out, right?
I don't want to talk about them. I hate them.
The misleading, they've used misleading advertising for the Heroes of Might and Magic 7 Collector's Edition in the US, and they're refusing to refund customers. Basically what they've done
How
is,
misleading could it be?
on
It's
Twitch,
Ubisoft, you know.
I know.
sneaky bastards, on Twitch, right, they opened up the collector's box. They showed you the case, which they said was the game and the soundtrack. They were holding it up saying that they never opened it. So when the people have been getting the collector's edition, they've opened the box and there's a space where the game should be, but there's
Don't
no,
buy the game, separate.
there's no game. It's digital download only.
Well,
That is pretty sneaky. Yeah, I'd be pretty fucked off about that.
And they won't refund a game that's been activated, and they activate the game when you contact them via a ticket, like email,
Yeah.
to
Which you
complain
need to
about
do
it.
by...
I was going to say,
activating
I was
the
about
game.
to say, well, hang on. If they've activated the game, fair enough. Then they shouldn't have to refund that because you've chose to activate it. If you didn't like it, you go, hang on, I'm not happy with this. You know what I mean? But if you have to activate the game to complain, then there's a bit of a catch-22 there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely...
Sneaky bastards.
Sneaky
Actually, it's
Ubisoft.
standard Ubisoft operating procedure, really, isn't
They've
it?
lated his eye. Do you know one time, about maybe 2 years ago, I loved Ubisoft a lot. And I was like, you know what, they're rapidly becoming my favourite game developer. When they were like, really looking after devs, and like the guy who made Trials Fusion, because he'd done such a good job on platinum titles, they were like, here's some excess budget, go and
Yeah.
make what you want.
That's a guy who made a Child of Light, wasn't it?
That's him. So, you know what I mean? There was loads of like stuff they were doing really well. Black Flag was amazing, probably the best launch title
Yeah.
for the PlayStation. I mean, it was on Xbox and that as well, wasn't it? But in terms of the games that came out for that platform,
At the
At
time,
that time,
it was
it was
probably
the
the
best
best
one.
game out, yeah.
you know what I mean? It's a fucking great game still, massively replayable. Wasn't full of microtransactions. There was a couple of microtransactions, but nothing that would ruin your life if you didn't buy them. Everything in the game was fantastic. It was such a good game. And I was like, wow, look at the direction these are going in. Look how good these are now. And then immediately after that, it was like, ha-ha! Because it was just when, like...
Now we've got your good graces.
Yeah, but even at the time, EA was starting to, like, really pull the socks up. And now I was like, wow, there's, like, nobody who's, like, evil at the minute. Like, not massively evil. And then Ubisoft was like, oh, I see EA's left the door open. Do you know what I mean? So what used to be known as, like, an EA trick is now Ubisoft through and through, like, they're fucking dog shit. Amazing, considering I've been hiding for several years, that I know all this.
Well done, Maddie.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of microtransactions, there's 300 game-changing microtransactions in the new Tomb Raider.
I'm not
300.
300.
I'm not bothered.
I couldn't give a fuck.
No,
That kind of
I
thing
thought-
put us off wanting to play it.
Yeah, same here.
Like reading that there was a season pass and DLC, but the DLC's only microtransactions put us off, but now that there's fucking 300. It's ridiculous. I wonder how they're going to be priced. That's basically is it still Crystal Dynamics making Tomb Raider?
Yeah.
They've looked at Train Simulator and went, £2,000 worth of DLC. Fuck no, we're missing a trick here, lads. Tell you what we're doing with the new Rise of the new Tomb Raider game, yeah.
I've had no interest in Tomb Raider for a long time.
I liked the reboot. I
Yeah,
thought it
I
was
played
alright.
the reboot.
Was the reboot the one where she was young? Was that like the prequel one?
When she's on the island.
It
yeah.
was alright.
Yeah, it was alright.
I played it, it wasn't great, it was alright.
It'd have been good if it was longer.
Mhm.
It was short with too much, like, basically it just padded out with collect this shit
Yeah.
rather than actual, like,
And the other
anything
thing with
in-depth.
it, after that, the next Tomb Raider, wasn't that the one that was delayed for a year on PlayStation?
Yeah, that's the one that's coming out.
That's this one.
Yeah.
See, even the fact that you'd be amazed to know, as soon as it was delayed for a year, my tiny mind went, "It's smaller money, a young girl."
Well, you're not that young anymore, are you?
I've been hiding from. How many years have I been hiding from now?
I
4.
don't know. You must be becoming a woman, though, by now.
That's it.
But you're obviously an imposter. We know that because we killed you.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway,
Can't fool Jerry Big G.
Or Kate, not a crook.
you're not my daughter. Anyway, I decided then when they said, "Oh, it's going to be delayed for a year," that timed release thing. I was like, "No, not interested. Not going to buy it. Nah, no. I just won't do it." You know what I mean? I just won't do timed release shit. I'm just not interested.
Well, after quite a negative start, I've got something that should hopefully make us both laugh. Kanye West, of all people,
Oh, Jesus.
God.
has spoken out about microtransactions in mobile games. Basically, he had a massive kick-off on Twitter about it. And basically his crack is, "Oh, fucking, why don't you give the parents a break? Like, if you design a game for a fucking 2-year-old, why does it even have, like, in-app purchases and stuff like that?" Now, I would point out at that point that they're probably not developed for 2-year-olds, but whatever. And he's like, "Oh, you put an iPad in your kid's hand and then there's new purchases every fucking 5 minutes." And I was like, surely that's your problem? Do you know what I mean? Not the developer's problem. So basically what's happened is,
Excuse me, can I stop you there, mate? I don't know if it's escaped your notice because he mentions it quite a bit. He's a genius.
aye,
The guy's a genius. Who the fuck do you think you are?
he's running for president, you know.
Who do you think you are? Tackling that lofty IQ. Is he really running?
Mhm.
Really, really.
You're joking.
No.
Holy shit. Wow, that's scary.
Mhm.
Do you know what's really scary as well? And I'm out about it nearly more than half the country here, but America are fucking stupid enough to vote him in.
Hey, if they're stupid enough to vote for Trump, they're stupid enough to vote for Kanye. I don't know who's worse. I'd like to see them two at the top battling it out. And then them both
Well,
get
and then whichever one gets hold of the most powerful nation on earth, see what they then do to the rest of the world.
Yeah. No, I think they should just have a fucking death match for the title. That way we definitely, like, we get one put in power, but at least the other one's dead.
Yeah, like Kanye would be trying to like organise drive-bys and stuff, and
Yeah.
Trump would be using his like privately funded military army and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of funny to watch.
And it would be difficult for, like, Kanye to organise drive-bys when, like, anyone of an ethnic minority will have been booted out of the country anyway.
Yeah, do you know what? Do the Americans not fucking realise that, like the Germans in the middle of the 20th century had a charismatic white boy who had like loads of fucking problems with other ethnicities.
Yeah.
Do you remember him? And he had a plan to fix the economy for the country. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Is that misunderstood chap who
Aye,
was a
aye, yeah.
vegan painter?
yeah, the moral of the story was,
Don't be vegan.
yeah, the moral of the story was, buy his patents. Next time an annoying vegan knocks on your door, tell him he was Hitler a vegan, or we just made that up.
No, he was a vegan.
No, he wasn't.
He was.
Nah.
Google it.
And fucking he knocks on your door. They want to buy me painting, but yes, young man, I do. That's a fine picture. What is it, Queen Elizabeth? North Action Mon. You know what I mean? It's lovely. Oh God.
But yeah, so basically what's happened, some small person in his family has,
He was
like,
vegetarian, not vegan.
has got hold of Kanye's iPad and spent like fucking $500 on
Yeah.
fucking in-app purchases, and he's kicked off about it. Even though, like, literally that kid could be on there all day buying shit and it would be a drop in the ocean in his wealth. But you
Yeah.
know,
He's a fucking ballet.
Kanye being Kanye.
He's trying to get the vote, man, for the public vote.
Yeah, that's what it is. What do parents hate? In-app purchases, right? That's all. Get them on side.
He's a fucking moron. He's an absolute clown.
Either that, or it's actually like Kim Kardashian's, and he's basically just referred to his wife as a 2-year-old child, which isn't outside the realm of possibility either. So here's one for you, right? Destiny,
Right.
right?
Is now getting microtransactions.
Is now getting microtransactions.
Really?
Yes. However, from what I've read, it's only cosmetic stuff. It's nothing game changing.
Is it also not going to be stuff like guns that you could get in the game if you kept playing, but like...
So far, it's just emojis.
It's just emotes and plans for shaders.
That's shit.
So, like, yeah, it's shit, and like I wouldn't spend any money on it, but I'd rather it was that than like pay to win. So yeah. But that's the thing, though. The size of Destiny's player base, even if only half of them buy like one or something, it's going to make a ton of revenue.
Yeah. I don't so much mind in that purchases, in-game purchases, if they're not game changes.
Yeah.
If it's pay to win that I've got a problem with.
Yeah.
Like the rest of it, I'm like, whatever. I also mind it even less if it's stuff you could get just by playing the game.
Yeah.
But shortcut bundles I kind of don't mind either, because some people's are, like on Battlefield.
Some people are that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
So have you both seen the Far Cry Primal trailer?
I haven't.
Yes, yes.
I did, however, see Callum's 10 fucking messages asking about it.
There you go, Callum. We spoke about it.
Yeah.
You happy?
No, I think it actually looks genuinely decent. I think it follows in the thread of Far Cry 4, which is not realistic, but it's less... Like the other Far Cry's 2 and 3 went very...
Political.
No, they just went moronic. They went very, like, almost like a bad attempt at humour.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas Far Cry 4 has still got some humorous bits in, but is more an attempt at a beefy story,
Yeah.
which I think they did a good job of. And I think this new Far Cry is going to go the same way. If it's the same, more or less the same game engine as Far Cry 4, and it's decent, if you like Far Cry 4, you'll like this, I think. It's
Yeah.
basically my summary on it. You know, I think it's going to be pretty good. That's it.
I think it would have been better if it was Far Cry Neanderthal. Or Far Cry Dinosaur.
Well, they try to do Far Cry Neanderthal, but your mum stopped them on copyright reasons.
And if it was Dinosaur Hunter,
Yeah.
people would just go to rock. So I
That's
guess...
not necessarily a bad thing, though.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like... I didn't know. I think it kind of, like, avoids that whole thing. I know it's not necessarily a bad thing, but people go, oh, well, they're just clearly, like, they're scraping the barrel there, and they thought, what can we do? Oh, Turok.
I'd rather they put this bit of effort and did the Far Cry games, because they're like, they don't get me tits the way Assassin's Creed does.
Yeah. You can't spell assassin without ass twice. That's how I feel about it.
So, have you played Uncharted? Any of them?
I haven't.
I haven't.
I've played half.
I know the one you're referring to, though. Like what you're about to mention. It's like one of the reasons why it's getting re-released on PS4.
What was that statistic we were looking at the other day? How
80% of PS4 owners have never played Uncharted.
Yeah.
And
I
I find that
bullshit.
unbelievable.
I haven't played any of them.
Well, that's what they've done is surveyed PS4 owners. But if they surveyed PS3 owners, there'd have been like nearly all of them would have been, yeah.
Well, that's the thing, though. It's about PS4. That's why they've said one of the reasons it's getting re-released on PS4 is because PS4 owners.
I've given it a lot of thought, and I'm definitely going to buy it.
Yeah.
Even though go back a couple of podcasts and I'll be raging about re-releases. But I've said every time I've raged about it though that I know I'm a bit of a hypocrite, and that there's certain games that'll come out where I think, yeah, fair enough. But the thing I like about when I do like a re-release, right, is when it's a consecutive story like this, and there's a new one coming out on that platform. Then I think it's cool, because you'll get a lot of people who've made the jump from Xbox 360 to PlayStation 4, or whose first console is PlayStation 4, and then they're going to get the new Uncharted, and they're not going to know any of the backstory. So I think it's pretty cool if there's a new title like that coming out.
And an opportunity to play the other ones.
Yeah, first.
Yeah.
I think that's cool, because I want the new Uncharted.
I quite want
And-
the new one as well.
And I never didn't like or didn't want the other games. There was always something else at the time that I thought,
Yeah.
oh, I'll get that
Yeah.
instead. Do you know what I mean? And then by the time I got to Uncharted 3, I was like, oh, I haven't even played the fucking first two.
I didn't play the first one. I started at number 2 for some weird reason, and I think I need to buy it just to play the first one, really.
But that's the thing.
I want it just because it's cool. I want the fourth one, so I want all of them.
Yeah.
I quite like the story of it as well, the storyline.
That's the thing. It's basically Uncharted and Nathan Drake have just replaced Tomb Raider in like the modern era. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like post, say, I don't know, Tomb Raider.
Well,
three.
that wouldn't have happened if they hadn't let Lara Croft just become like a fucking vapid, paper thin cosplay icon nerds fucking masturbation fest. If they kept some like substance in the character and kept the game strong, Uncharted frankly would have fallen a hard second to Tomb Raider.
But that's the thing, though. You've got to think when like Tomb Raider 1 to 3, when that was about, right? No internet, you know what I mean? So it was all in magazines, and I remember owning magazines as a kid, like things, and basically everyone raving about like because 3D was the new hot shit.
Yeah.
And they were like, look at our tits, look at how awesome triangular tits. Do you know what I mean? They look so good. And then like obviously blokes everywhere were like, fucking hell, that Laura's got a kind of mint set of tits, like even if they are just polygons and triangles. So it kind of grew that way.
Mate, you should have been around when we were young. There was a magazine, the first proper. There was computer magazines, there was game magazines. But I'd say the first big one, the first one to really hit big, was a magazine called Mean Machines, right? And we all got our information out of Mean Machines. And all you're doing is you're reminding us on there, because I remember the cartoon script in Mean Machines taking the piss, where it was like, it showed you this guy who'd been accidentally teleported back in time. Mean Machines is around about the time of the Master System, the Mega Drive. Do you know what I mean? Like the Master System was fading out, the Mega Drive was on the way, and it was around about then, wasn't it? And Super Nintendo and stuff. And you look at them now, and the graphics now to our eyes are just absolute dog shit. But there was actually a cartoon script that I'll never forget in there, where this kid got teleported back in time to the Atari days, and he was watching people staring at it going, whoa, look at the graphics. And it was like his personal hell, because like Atari graphics were what he had to face with after the graphics had come on so much.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then you look at that, PlayStation was after that.
Yeah.
So you got to think, in mine and Michael's lifetime, how much has changed. We had Atari 2600. I've still got one. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, triangular tits were pretty good at the time.
well, do you know what? It was a big deal, wasn't it? I mean, Madonna had conical tits for a while, didn't she?
Yeah.
And when we were kids, we had square balls.
Square balls.
And that fucking pong game, your ball
Yeah,
was square.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And on Atari basketball.
Yeah.
So I've got some news, just like not to move it on too quickly or anything, but I'm really buzzed about this. PlayStation Now,
I think it's fucking dreadful.
it's being changed.
We were talking about this.
Me and you are going to have a massive fight here. You actually really think that amount of money is fucking worth it?
No, but
You stupid.
I think it's much better than what it was.
It's not, man. It's just as much, if not worse, a rip-off. What was it, $12.99 a month?
And you get access to the full library.
So fucking what? You get
Instead
access.
of, instead of $7.99 for
The
for
full
one
library,
game.
mate, is only 100 games.
At the moment.
Of which you'll play, like, what? 5, 10.
At the moment,
$12.99 a month, right, is, say, let's call it 13 quid a month. So over 10 months, that's 130 quid, plus another 26. So that's 156 quid. If you want to be pedantic and minus the 12 pence back off, that's £155, 88 pence a year.
All right, Wayne, man.
Listen, £155, 88 pence a year to play them. Right, how much do you think you can get a PS1 for?
This was my fucking argument.
But I've looked into it and you're right.
I know I'm right. I'm
And a
always right.
PS2 and a PS3, and then all them titles. $12.99 is more than you're paying for your subscription for PS Plus.
I'm not saying that it's perfect. I'm saying it's better than what it was.
It needs to be no more than £3 a month, right? And then we're talking $12.99 a month. Mate, you got to look at them titles on there, right? Hear me out here. Look at them titles on there, and you think, right, for 13 quid, I could go down to like CEX or somewhere and probably buy and permanently own both of those titles. And then you think to yourself, and you spend a lot less than 13 quid as well, mate, right? And then you go and think, I'll do that every month. In less than 4 or 5 months, you'll probably have all of them 100 games. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, actually, I suppose now that I think about it, right, like, obviously, it's 100 titles at the moment. They'll probably add more to it, but out of the ones that's on there, during any one given month, I'd probably only play it like one, in which case it's more than what I would have been
Correct.
playing under the old system.
Well done.
Now I think about it.
Well done. Wake up. Smell of coffee. Come on. Grumpy gamer. Not fucking gullible
Yeah.
gamer. I've just punched the table. That's going to be really loud on the mic. Edit that out.
I don't edit anymore.
Yeah. Well, I just thought it's one of those things that on paper sounds like at least they've realised that what the model they did have was fucking disgusting.
Do you know what I honestly think they should do? My honest opinion is this, because Sony are boiling my fucking piss at the minute. Right, my honest opinion is this. You should get it, the whole service, for free.
Yeah.
It should be thrown in with paying for PS Plus, and here's my reasoning why. Before I paid a fucking bean for my online services of Sony, it was better. Ever since it's been a paid for service, it's been fucking crap.
Yep.
It's been hacked to bits. It goes down regularly, right? It's awful. It's just dog shit awful. The money that we pay for PS Plus essentially is just to play online. It's not for the games that you get, because the games are absolute pure fucking horse shit.
I'm going to argue with you there. Like, I agree at the moment, but this is the thing. If you look at the PS3, right, like in the last couple of years of its life, right, the titles you were getting out were
Triple
really
A.
good. And my mate worked out, Liam, who was on the podcast, the year before the PS4 came out, if you played every game that was available on PS Plus for free for that year, if you'd bought them all at full retail price in a shop, it would have cost you somewhere in the region of $1,000.
Right. None of them were full retail price in any shop at that time of release on the PS Plus. So
They
that,
weren't.
my friend, they weren't.
The Hitman game that came up. That was on PS Plus 2 or 3 months after it was released.
No, it wasn't.
It
My
was.
point is, they're all shit at the minute, but in 2 or
No,
3
it was
years'
much later
time,
than that. It was way later.
in 2 or 3 years' time, the value of PS Plus for the
Hitman
games you get
Absolution,
will be
wasn't
better.
it? So, Hitman, because I know you're wrong about this.
Because I remember being pissed off. 'cause
You're
I bought
totally wrong,
I
you're
bought the
totally
collector's
wrong.
edition of it.
Yeah, I did. You're totally wrong about that.
I don't know if it was 2 or 3 months, but it wasn't long after.
It wasn't
long
quite a
after.
while.
I'd have said maybe 6 months.
And that even if that's 6 months, I'd accept. But even then, that's one example. The rest of them, they were way old games.
Bioshock, the third one, what's it called? Can't remember its name.
Infinite?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one was pretty quick on the PS Plus.
Yeah. But even if it's not a full retail value, even if you bought them all at discount price in a shop, right? Even one of those AAA games, right? If you bought second hand in a shop, you'd pay like 20 quid for
Right,
it.
remember this, November 20th, 2012.
Right? And how much is your PlayStation Plus for like the year? Like 30 quid or something?
Yeah.
About 40.
So do you know what I mean? Even if you only get 2 AAA titles a year, it's paid for itself.
And then,
So yeah, it's shit at the minute because we get shitty indie games every month. But in 2 or 3 years' time, it'll probably be more than worth it when there's like a bigger library of games out there.
so it went in August the following year, so that's November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. That's 9 months, kids.
No, I felt like 3 months because I was still playing it.
You see what I mean, though? So, like, right, there's one. And if the 9 months, if you went into a shop and paid full retail price for that, you were a fucking fool.
Yeah, but my point still stands though.
It doesn't.
It does.
It doesn't.
It totally does. Right, so again, right, if you don't pay full rate, say all those games that you worked out and it came to $1,000, let's cut that number straight in half and it was worth 500.
It's,
You telling
it's
me?
way less than half. You're still misleading. You can go in, you have to, no, most games, other than the odd game that still sells incredible amounts, the odd rare title like GTA, The Last of Us, stuff like that. Most games after 6 months you can pick up for way less than half price.
Right, well, even so, my point, like, as long as the value of the games on that over the course of the year amounts to more than 35 quid, it's
worth
still worth it. Regardless of how cheap those games are, right, this is my point.
Well, that I agree with.
Like, the games we get at the minute are shit, but I'm saying the games we will get in a few years' time will be better because there'll be more to choose from.
That I agree with. But I'm not paying for that now. I'll pay for that then. I don't want to pay for something now in the hope that they pull the fucking thumb out. Because what they're doing at the moment is they're taking the piss out of the customers.
Yeah.
I'm getting really fucking angry with them. Like, normally, I mean, you can't help but have your bias. I've always tried to keep an open mind. I did when I picked my console. I
Yeah.
compared the Xbox with the
You're
PlayStation.
very angry today.
I'm only angry about this
Because I woke him up, he was
No,
on
right.
asleep when I
Yeah, I'm angry about this because, like, it's funny you brought it up. And this was one of my list of things to bring up, but to fucking pound.
Yeah.
And I can't believe you brought up like, oh, this is great, this. It's like, you've gone down in my estimations, you're now on -7. Right, but like...
No, like, this is the thing, right? I'm not going to just sit here and be like, no, it's mint. Like, I understand what you're saying, and I concede the point. However, I would still say the new model's better than the old one. Not that it just means it's not shit. It's just not great.
It's just shit.
I just don't understand how, they can charge us to
But
play
I
online
accept the
now,
point.
and the infrastructure of the whole PS Plus is fucking shit.
Well, this
Servers
is-
go
yeah.
down all the time.
Yeah.
It's out every week, and then they get hacked by fucking 14-year-old kids in fucking London.
That's right. And here's the thing as well, right? What I was saying was I'd kept an open mind for years, but I've always obviously had a bias. I liked Sony, and it wasn't just based on the console being more powerful. It was based on I liked the way they were towards gamers compared to how Xbox were on launch.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things like that. I like their attitude. But what Sony's done now is they've won hands down,
Yeah.
and because they've won hands down,
They've done a 180.
they've done a what exactly? They couldn't give a fuck.
They've done a
Now,
Microsoft.
One of our friends, Mark, who was on the podcast a good few weeks ago, he'd had a PlayStation for a while. He's got no idea about old computers. He still thought the Spectrum was better than the Commodore, but came on and argued
What
with
a fool.
my corner. Right, but the fact of the matter is, normally if one of my mates was like, oh, I'm getting rid of my PlayStation and I'm getting an Xbox, I'd be like, you fucking idiot. But I think he's an idiot for getting rid of his PlayStation to get an Xbox. I don't see the point in that. But my brain went, I see why you're getting an Xbox, Do you know what I mean? Because this good guy, Phil Spence, for all he's obviously just a marketing stooge, do you know what I mean?
Good guy, Phil Spencer.
But he's,
Shout out to Phil.
you know what I mean? At least the Xbox is what it is, and they're trying to do the right thing
You know what it is?
by gamers.
He recently he'd done an interview or what, something I was going to talk about.
Just the
One where he says,
PS4
oh,
can't be
never
beat
catch
by
a
the
PS4.
Yeah, he basically
Yeah,
went,
so-
they've won the console war, but all we're going to do now is focus on the gamers. So basically Sony and Microsoft have just swapped positions.
Yeah.
I nearly ordered an Xbox One last night. I told Andy.
Yeah.
I was very close. Tasha was like, do it, and I was like, nah. Still going to get one at some point.
This is the thing, I think the console war only matters if you're in a position where you'll only ever have one, do you know what I mean? If I had the money, I'd buy an Xbox One
I
tomorrow.
think the console war only matters if you're a fucking retard with the mindset of a 9-year-old on a playground.
My dad's bigger than your dad.
Although there is still argument for the fact that, while the PS4's servers are shitty and stuff, technically it is a more powerful machine.
It's a better machine.
Oh,
Of course
indeed.
it's a better machine. We know that. It's like... But I find it funny. I've got a console because I like my console. It's convenient. My reason for having a console, never mind which console, my reason for having a console is this. I know that the lifespan of that console, the console's going to be a big thing. Lots of people have got it. So all game developers and all of the big titles for the lifespan of that console are going to come out on that machine, and I'll be able to play them, right? So I'll get access to all of the premium titles.
No upgrades needed.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
But
This is it.
That's just a question of money, though. That's the
If-
same
if-
as
this is my point. If I had the money, fuck consoles. I would
Yeah.
be a PC gamer all the way, right? And here's the rationale behind that. Why I find the console war funny. It's like me having a Ferrari if I was the PC guy, and two people arguing over which was better, their second-hand scrapyard Ford Fiesta or their second-hand scrapyard Ford Escort. That's how.
Escort, obviously.
That's how the fucking PC world will see us, though. You know what I mean?
Why, that's why they get referred to as the PC Gaming Master Race Elite.
Speaking of the Master Race, have you heard about the new Half-Life 3 trolling incident?
Yeah.
This one, there's always a new one. Is this the one about that guy tweeting about buying the rights, or was that?
No.
No, there's there was some text file or something discovered in something or other. I didn't
Dota
fucking
2,
know.
I think it
Aye.
was. Yeah. And it was called
Boring.
HL3.
Boring.
I just thought, really, it's
Yeah.
done. It's never going to happen. We need to accept it and move on.
What is actually happening though is, I mean, I said in the last podcast, it wasn't a case of if but when, but like The Last of Us 2 is more or less confirmed at this point, because some dude who works for Naughty Dog had an interview, and he was like, oh, the Uncharted games and the Last of Us games, and he used the plural.
Yeah.
Then realised what he said.
He said he was doing the model work, the character work on them,
and then he kind of backtracked a bit. So the people have went, all right, so yeah, it's more or less like it's not just on the shelf anymore. It's happening.
Are they doing it with the same characters, or does anyone know yet?
That's what I was going to ask. What would you like to see?
I would honestly, I would like to see maybe them get left alone and just
concentrate on somebody else in a different part of that world.
Maybe if over the years, you know how like there's always little bits of crossover, like in GTA and stuff, where you'll get like a character from a previous game, like that sort of thing. Maybe like a little bit of crossover to kind of make the world feel more, because the world is going to be small.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that would be pretty cool, and maybe go back to them later in life in a later game.
See, what I was saying, I thought would be cool is if you were different people, but if you stumble across a camp and they're in that camp, you got to speak to them or something, you know. So they're not in the game.
See, like this is the thing. I think because the storyline was so strong in that, right? I think that's the reason to stay away from going back to them, because unless it lives up to it, unless it matches that, I think when you set yourself such a high benchmark, it's difficult to meet it.
The thing is though, Hal, if they get the same sort of writers in who did it, if they get the same people in, I mean the writing in that was fucking incredible.
What's the guy called? Neil,
I didn't know.
the guy who wrote and directed it. He's actually writing the script for the Last of Us movie as well.
No, right. But this is the thing. What I think would be really cool for it is because that was set at more. It was set in the Americas, wasn't it? Like I'd like to see something on a different continent.
That would be cool.
Do you know what I mean? Like something set in Europe or
see
something.
how they handle the situation
exactly.
compared to...
Like, because that's the thing. They might already have the fucking cure, like, sort of in progress or something, or they might not have a clue.
Neil Druckmann.
Neil Druckmann, that's the chap.
Do you know what I mean? That would be really cool.
He's awesome. Like, I mean, I don't see why. Because people, I know what you're saying, Hal, and I'm inclined to agree with you about like it is a good reason to stay away. Just because I agree they should stay away.
Yeah.
But just to discuss on your point, with that said, you great writers of bygone eras always followed up something strong with something equally as strong, and then equally as strong, and then equally as strong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's nothing really, if you got the same writer in and gave him enough time and he had creative control over the direction of the story, because therein lies the problem. You get a writer to do something and then some fucking businessman thinks he knows better.
See, I think that the thing is as well though, is sometimes, I mean, Neil Druckmann, right, he could be a genius, but he could also just be some guy who's like, that might be his magnum opus, do you know what I mean? Sometimes like, he's wrote something and it's just a runaway hit and he can't replicate it.
Yeah.
Like that does happen, do you know what I mean?
It does, but I don't think it's, I mean the writing's too good quality. It's like, you know, that whole thing, isn't it? It's like form is fleeting, class is eternal.
But it's like
style never goes out of fashion.
Oh, what do you call the
That's
guy? The guy who wrote Breaking Bad, Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
No, not Vince Vaughn, Vince Gilligan.
I didn't know Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn.
It's a canny feather in his cap, really.
Would have been, wouldn't it? Vince Vaughn's a fucking loser. No, Vince Gilligan. He's season 1. I was like, this is.
Oh, you're talking about the
you can't
same
beat
Vince
this.
Vaughn, the comedy actor.
Yeah.
He's a fucking legend.
Aye.
How dare you call him a loser?
He's a bellend.
He's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He's absolutely awesome.
I put Dodgeball in the same fucking category as like
I hate
the
you,
first Anchorman.
but I respect you.
I like Dodgeball, but I just don't like Vince Vaughn.
I love Vince Vaughn. He's fucking awesome. He's amazing in Starsky and Hutch as well.
Yeah.
That was an awful movie.
It wasn't, man. Shut up. It was amazing. You don't know.
Are we switching? Is this a movie podcast now?
Mate, he's busting out a robot that doesn't even happen yet. He's gone all 80s. He's dancing from the future. How can you say that? That was a shit movie.
It was
It awesome. Oh, God, what's wrong with you?
I like.
Oh,
movies.
it's the trucker. Vince Vaughn's awesome. I'm going to take your mum out for seafood dinner and then call her again afterwards.
Dorothy Mantooth is a saint.
Oh, Cooper, you are a fucking hipster prick.
Why? Because I think Vince Vaughn's a loser.
Yes, that's
Right,
why.
Okay.
Oh,
So do you know last week I was talking about that about voice actors going on
yeah.
going on strike about
no, I wasn't
Thing.
listening to you.
well apparently the voice actors guild, I can't remember what the proper title is.
Is that like a thieves guild? Do you have to do quests to get in?
I don't know, but 96% of them voted in favour of strikes over better pay and working conditions. So yeah, it's happening. So I don't know how that'll affect any upcoming titles or whatever.
It's going to work like this, right? Let's pretend I'm a voice actor and I come in and Cooper gives me the script for this up-and-coming game, Xenon 4.
Right.
Michael Shakes Fox.
Michael Shakes Fox.
I come in and then here, this is what you do. I'll go like, right, are you ready? And then here's me, I'll deliver my lines. Are you
Right.
ready? 5, 4, 3.
2, 1, go.
Perfect. We had no audio in that game anyway.
That's how a voice acting strike's going to work.
Yeah, but surely you could do that from home.
It's not the same. You have to go to work to not do it.
Right, I get that. But you're saying that. But you're also like, you're telling me about going somewhere and not do it. Yet you're talking to us over satellite link, Maddie.
Aye. Well, that's only because I'm in my hiding place still. I haven't lost, have I? I can't leave my hiding place.
Well, somebody's obviously
I
found you to set up the satellite link.
Just did it myself.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of time on my hands.
Yeah, she called us this morning, me and Kate were just getting ready for the podcast.
Yeah, they were going to do. It was going to be the McCann parents still
Yeah.
searching for me,
Yeah.
as in money.
And plot twist, you searched for them.
Shazam.
And all I can say is you're not my daughter.
We killed our daughter.
Put her in the boot of the
We
car.
killed our daughter for delicious Activision dollars.
Hey.
Got it in there. David Crane would be proud.
Oh my god.
I don't know if David Graham would be proud of being associated with the McCann family. Him being like, you know, an upstanding like CEO of
He's not.
No,
He's not
CEO.
upstanding. He's not upstanding. He's in a wheelchair.
Yeah. He stands up briefly when I get
Upseated, upseated young man in a wheelchair. Creator of Pitfall.
And on that note, Star Wars.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right, it's been getting panned to bits. Loads of people.
I
have panned
fucking
to
love
bits.
it.
Yeah, I liked it. I think a few things needed fixing. Like I think the aim assist was a bit strong.
Yeah.
And I'll even say that because for the past few weeks when we've been doing the podcast, I've been like, I'm not getting it. And then I played it. I felt like a fucking kid. As soon as
Yeah.
that music started, I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god. And I saw the downed X-Wing, I was like, holy shit, look at that. The graphics were fucking beautiful.
The Hoth battle was incredible. Like the thing that blew me away was like when I was a rebel and I was underneath the AT-AT and I was like, what the fuck? And then it stood on us and I was like, that was mint. I was like,
Let's
I
do
wasn't
it
even-
again.
Yeah, I wasn't even like oh fuck, do you know what I mean? I was like, I've just been stood on. That's awesome. That's so
I
good.
got on the Hoth battle. I got to use a Scout Walker and a Nat,
Yeah.
and I was just like, "This is fucking mint." But I've come to the realization, it's not a game I can sit and hammer. 4 or 5 games, I was like, "Nah, yeah, I don't want to play anymore."
Yeah, but that's not a thing about that game.
No,
is
it's
it really?
not.
That's more
That's
just
about
it's not
me.
your kind of game.
Exactly,
Is
isn't
it?
it?
You don't ever sit and you don't really sit and hammer first FPS as you never.
Not anymore.
The thing is as well,
I
though,
used to.
right, is I think they only had 2 modes available, but from what I've seen, like the dogfighting and the other ones, every mode looks kind of different.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of with you in the regard that I couldn't sit and hammer it all day, but I could say maybe play 5 or 6 matches of one mode, then I could quite happily go to another one and play 5 or 6 matches. I could spend 4 hours on the game,
Here's
but
the
I'd,
truth.
I'd probably play all of it.
Here's the truth. I reckon I'm going to hammer it all day.
Yeah.
I reckon at least.
But that's the thing, it won't be one mode, will it? You'll play all the things.
Now I accept there's a lot of things about it broken, and I accept that its release is only 4 weeks away.
And it is a bit like Battlefield with Star Wars skin on it.
That's not bad though.
Yeah, it's not.
Because
Yeah.
Battlefield's
People
like
complain
tried and
about that.
tested. Well,
But the thing is, right? It's
I think it looks like a
it's-
Star
it's
Wars
put,
game.
It's put
it
like
is.
an up-to-date Battlefield engine in though. It's put like the fixed one in. I say fixed. Obviously, there's a few tweaks needed.
But to me,
I've had-
everything
I've had
about it
mates
felt
messaging me who
like it
are
was in the
looking-
Star Wars
they look for
universe.
stuff that's broken. The people who messaged me, they look for stuff that's broken. Jason, I'm looking at you.
yeah.
But like, you know what I mean? But it's fair enough because you need people like that on a beta test.
Yeah. I suppose
Do you know what I mean?
That's
It's
the whole point of a beta test.
Exactly, you need people like that on a beta
Yeah.
test. But the point is this: if it's fixable and it gets fixed, it's going to be amazing. If they just reasonably tweak it, it's still going to be fairly good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I've wanted an FPS. How many
Yeah.
years have I said to you? I want an FPS with laser guns, and Destiny came out and disappointed me.
I think what it is
I
like,
say that I'm going to play Destiny again too.
Yeah. What it is I want, like, when you've been, like, whenever I come round here and you're on a Battlefield kick and I'm like, yeah, I might get back into it, but Battlefield 4, like, while it's good, it's never really captured my attention. Do you know what I mean? This is the first thing that's captured my attention in that way
To be
since,
fair-
like, Bad Company 2.
To be fair, you never really gave Battlefield 4 a chance.
I know, but, like,
But it was broke when you started having your first go of it.
it's like, I didn't know. I didn't have the same kind of, like, interest in it as, like, Battlefield 3. But Battlefield 3 was mainly just off the back of Bad Company 2. Because we were playing that and we were like, Battlefield 3 is going to be so good.
And it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was good, but it wasn't as good as Bad Company.
Yeah.
That's when they started bringing in perks and shit like that.
At the time, I convinced myself about how much I liked it, and I do still like Battlefield 3. But a lot of it, looking back, was just me persuading myself.
Yeah.
Because looking back now, if I look back fondly on both, the game itself, Bad Company 2, was a better game. Some of the players I met and played with on Battlefield 3 made Battlefield 3 amazing to me.
Yeah.
Like me mate Richie Prince, Remy LeBlue that I play with, Cross who I play
Shout
with.
out.
All these people who were like just
Shout out to
Charged,
my arms
like
for being by my
Chad
side.
do you know what I mean? All of these guys,
Do you want to thank Jesus as
his
well?
own a bitch.
Thank Jesus.
Our Lord and Saviour Jesus.
Without none of this would be possible.
We worked. By the way,
He
he
died,
died
our
for
sins.
everyone's sins except Cooper's.
Yeah.
Except for
My
Cooper's.
sins were too great.
Yeah, they were too great and numerous. Yeah. Nobody's household pets should have to go through what he puts them through. No one's.
They never recover.
It's true.
Neither did the orphans.
No.
No. And on that note, it's weird that I think it's weird we all agree about Star Wars, because I thought I was definitely going to be like, this is the shittest game on earth, but I think it's really good.
Basically, like, this is the thing. I was always interested in it. Then, like, I hadn't watched the trailers, and he made us watch the trailers, and I was like, that looks so fucking good. And I played it, and I was like, oh, this
Yeah,
is fucking
to
amazing.
be honest, do you know why I got so interested in it? I saw the first trailer, because Kurt will tell you because we've known each other since he was 5 and I was 6. Now, when we were in like infants and junior school, I was known for being an absolute Star Wars nut.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was a nut. I fucking loved Star Wars. Anything Star Wars, and I wanted it. Right? Mate, when I was married years ago, and my stepchildren used to buy me fucking lightsabers for Christmas, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that was because I enjoyed the newer films with them kids, with me stepchildren. But as films, as standalone films, I fucking hate episodes 1, 2 and 3. They're shite. And to the point where they destroyed episodes 4, 5 and 6 for me. Like, episodes 4, 5 and 6 to me were like cinematic greatness. And after the first 3 films, after episodes 1 to 3, they're still good. But after that, combined with Lucas fucking with them, right? It was like he ruined them for me, and they were never as great as well. But when I saw the first trailer for this, what I liked about it is it recaptured my imagination, because it was like they're staying true. It looked like Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying in a nutshell. And if all of the films, Empire Strikes Back is the best
It's
one.
very faithful to
Did
the
you see
original trilogy.
the trailer for the speed bike chases?
Yes.
That, to me, that was like, because I went off Star Wars, same reasons really, the newer movies.
I started going off at a tiny bit,
And then when I
always
saw that, I thought,
of the original 3 films. Return of the Jedi was weak, because that was when George Lucas was twigging on about selling figures to kids, and Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, like A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, they're all about the film.
Yeah.
And then the toys were secondary to the film. Return of the Jedi was the first one where the film was there to sell toys, and you got to think about how scary was the Empire in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
If you watched them in order when you were a kid, After Empire Strikes Back, he was so intimidated by the Empire. A stormtrooper was an absolute fucking badass, right?
Do you know the Empire Strikes Back? I completely agree with what you're saying. The bit for me where my heart was in my mouth is where they go to Cloud City and Darth Vader's just sat there chilling on a table when they go in the room, and like Han pulls his blaster and he's just like, yeah,
Thanks.
nah.
Yeah, that.
And I was like,
yeah, that bit's awesome, isn't it? It's awesome, and even them stormtroopers look badass. And then you get to Return of the Jedi. What's he need? Oh, I need figures for the younger kids, teddy bears, and he's got teddy bears in like a really bad slapstick comedy way.
Mm-hmm.
Brain stormtroopers with lumps of wood.
Yeah.
And it was like, and there's even that annoying, the scene where even as a kid I thought, this is bullshit, is a bit where Han taps the stormtrooper on the shoulder when they're at the door.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, nah, it wouldn't happen. The stormtrooper, if it was an Empire Strikes Back stormtrooper, he wouldn't even turn around. He'd just put his pistol over his shoulder and go boom. Do you know what I mean? It was so, I was just cringing at it. I was like, these aren't stormtroopers.
do you know what it is though? That now that like you mentioned, I mean, obviously the parallel's always been there, but I've never really thought about it before. Like you're saying about the absolute sheer ridiculousness of teddy bears knocking stormtroopers, but in the Phantom Menace, where they have that massive like face off between the droids and the fucking what you call them, the Gungans, is it?
Yeah.
That's the same kind of ridiculousness.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
It's the same thing.
There was no need for the Gungans.
No. I do like how George Lucas was like absolutely shamed into not giving Jar Jar Binks any speaking lines in the second and third film.
Mate, honestly,
After that.
honestly, right. Oh,
I know, man.
but anyway, this new one, Battlefront, right? It looked as though whoever made it went, yeah, Empire Strikes Back. That was the magnum opus, to use your turn of phrase from earlier, right? Yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to be the video game version of Empire Strikes Back. And as soon as I realised it was going to be that, yes, I know the speeder bikes of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi.
That's the best bit of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, that's it. Return of the Jedi would have been as good as Empire Strikes Back if not for the motherfucking teddy bears.
Yeah.
I refuse to give them the Star Wars name, the teddy bears.
I think that whole thing should have been on Kashyyyk, and it should have been Wookiees instead of...
Yes.
That would have been cool.
Because that would have made sense, yeah. A Wookiee smashing a fucking stormtrooper in the face with a brick.
But that's the thing though, the Wookiees weren't even that like
Wookiees aren't soft.
technologically far behind.
Yeah,
they
Wookiees
had
are hard.
blasters.
Yeah. The crossbow.
The crossbow ones, aye.
And Wookiees are hard. Wookiees were like a slave race for a long time, and they worked mines and stuff like that, and they were very strong and powerful. It wouldn't be unreasonable to have a Wookiee actually pull a fucking stormtrooper's head off his body.
Or at
You know
least,
what I mean?
or at least do the fucking thing where like a stormtrooper's like shooting the Wookiee, and the Wookiee just fucking eats it and like
Keeps running.
fucking barrels him down. Do you know what I mean? That's totally within the realm of possibility.
And that's totally how Return of the Jedi should have ended.
Yeah, it's how it should have been. Yeah, look at us, gaming podcast, but in our spare time we'll rewrite Return of the Jedi.
But this is the thing I like with Battlefront. I like how faithful it is to the original trilogy, but I like how within that frame of reference you can do things that are different. Like playing that, I played as I got to be Luke Skywalker for a bit.
Yeah.
And you know, like on the Hoth map, the idea is if you're the rebels, you've got to keep the uplinks going.
Yeah.
So the Y-wings come in, bomb the AT-AT, and while the bombing run's happening, they can be damaged by any source.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, being Luke Skywalker, brain fuck out of an AT-AT leg with the lightsaber was one of the fucking coolest moments I've had in the beta.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
that
mean?
is a cool moment.
That was really
I'll tell
fucking
you,
cool.
do you know what else is awesome about the beta? Did anyone else feel total badass when they were being a stormtrooper?
Yes.
Didn't you feel like loads better when you were a stormtrooper?
Do you know what I did? The very first game I had, I was a stormtrooper, and there was a rebel in front of us, and on purpose, just for a laugh, I shot to the left of him, then I shot to the right of him, then I shot back to the left of him, didn't hit him, and I was laughing me tits off. And this rebel just turned around and killed us. I was like, man, you're spoiling the game.
Do you know what I
like,
think? I've got
true
one massive criticism though. All of the rebels have got the Leia hat on,
Yeah.
and it's like only Leia had that hat on, and it's a girl's hat.
Oh, speaking of Leia, because obviously the Battlefront beta's out on all platforms. So the PC guys doing what they do, data mined it to bits, right? And they've found, because you know you get like your special characters like Luke and Darth Vader. They've also found in the files Han Solo,
Cool.
Boba Fett,
Oh, nice.
and Princess Leia.
Well, it's not a secret. I mean, those people's pictures are up doing things. You can see them.
Oh, I
And
didn't
in the
know.
trailer.
Oh, I didn't know.
But being Boba Fett would
But
be...
getting to play as
cool
Boba Fett
as
would be
fuck.
really cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Lando as well. I'd quite like being Billy D. Williams.
Lando's a prick.
Lando's cool,
He's a
man.
prick. He's a prick.
He did what he had to do to
He
survive.
didn't. He was a treacherous cunt. Should have been shot. Han should blow his fucking head off.
He had his people to think about. He was just
I
trying to
hope
protect Cloud City.
that the new film, that if Disney do anything right, I hope it starts with Han Solo walking up to him and just blowing his fucking face off.
That's the thing, Harrison Ford's aged pretty well, but Billy D. Williams is looking really old now, isn't he? I wonder if they'll have it. If
Time to die, Billy D.
If Lando actually does make an appearance, whether it will be Billy D.
I think that Lando should make an appearance so that Han can shoot him in the face.
Yes, that's going to happen in a Disney Kids movie.
Should.
Anyway, any more gaming stuff? Or
I don't know. Let's check my list.
got a bit off track there.
Oh yeah, do you know that Cyberpunk 2077 you were
Yes.
talking about?
Yes.
Apparently, one of the guys who's working on it says that it's going to be much bigger than The Witcher 3.
Yes.
Oh yeah, baby.
That's what we discussed about 2 weeks
Was
ago.
it?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the size that got mentioned. I remember you saying.
No, we
like,
didn't talk much about it. We said it was planning on being a big game, but we didn't like.
Yeah.
No, because I had the article on my phone.
Because all I got from the one a couple of weeks ago was only going, this game's going to be mint. Watch the trailer, isn't it going to be mint?
I don't know if I mentioned this as well. Guns, right?
Yeah,
The amount of
that was
guns
it.
you
Guns
have.
and shoes. That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, much bigger than The Witcher 3, which by all accounts is quite a big game anyway.
Yep. So have you played the new DLC for Witcher 3? Any of you?
I haven't yet. I
No.
didn't realise it was out.
So now.
No, I haven't.
Apparently, I've been reading reviews, and it is fucking amazing by all accounts.
In terms of Far Cry Primal, I am actually still looking into that. I'm looking into it properly and I'll review what I can find.
There's not much. There's just that
I know
little
there's
trailer.
not a lot I had to look about, and there's not a lot, but hopefully I'm going to make it my job to stay on top of that because I will get Far Cry Primal. It's my kind of game.
There you go, Colin. We'll be
What we
happy.
should do is we should tell Kanye West about PlayStation Now and see if he can use his
His presidential skills.
yeah, he can use his presidential weight to sort Sony out.
Holy shit.
You see him kicking down the doors of Sony.
It
I'm a
might-
motherfucking genius.
It might work though, do you know what I mean? As really annoying as Kanye is, if I was a Sony exec, I wouldn't want to have that on my doorstep.
I wouldn't want Kanye talking to me like,
You can easily confuse him. Just ask him if he likes fish sticks,
yeah.
as per the South Park episode. See. So you guys got anything else?
Nah.
Oh no, that's not even worth mentioning.
What isn't?
It was a
Good guy
PS4.
Phil Spencer's actually a transvestite.
Only in your dreams. There's a PS4 price drop, so if you haven't got a PlayStation 4,
Yeah,
go and get one now.
$50 cheaper, isn't it?
Have we not got anything about more about Phil Fish? Has he not been with anything?
Or Philip Poisson. The new Unreal tournament is now completely free. Runs on Unreal Engine 4 and looks incredible, just to let you know, but none of us are PC gamers. So.
I think Unreal Tournament's kind of had its day anyway. Like, if you go back, like, actually probably about 10 or 12 years, then, like, at the time it was fucking massive.
Yeah. There is something I want to bring up.
It kind of got replaced in, like, sort of the PC gaming circles with Counter-Strike, really.
So if you buy a game, do you prefer to get the physical copy or...
I do, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For very practical reasons. I trade games in when I finish with them.
Yeah.
There's a number of reasons for me, so yeah, trading them in. I like to have the originals on my shelf, and I think that the digital downloads are way too expensive compared to actual games.
It's not even trading it in, like I hoard my games, the ones that I like, and the ones that I don't want to part X, I keep. Like, so in my room, like, I don't have a GameCube anymore, but like I'm going to buy one because you can get them for like 20 quid off Amazon. But I've got like a stack of 25 GameCube games just sat waiting to be played again. But I couldn't, like, say if I, like, we'll talk 10 years in the future and the PS4 has been and gone, all my digital downloads on that, when I get rid of the console, I don't have them anymore.
Exactly. I've got a GameCube you can have.
I love it,
I
like.
don't know if it works, but you know it. So the reason I was asking is this kid, I mentioned this to Andy the other night actually, there's a kid who's bought Diablo 3
Yeah.
on
Oh,
PlayStation
yeah,
Network.
yeah.
So he's purchased it. Sony have charged him twice. He's rang up about it to complain and they've banned his fucking PSN account.
What?
So he's down to, what, I don't know how much the game was, say if it was 50 quid, so he's
It's got
down
to be
100 quid.
55, 60 quid you watch.
So hang on, basically, like, if I can hazard a guess, has he bought the original game, then tried to buy the expansion, but bought the game with the expansion?
Not at all.
No, he's just bought the game
He
and
bought
charged him
Diablo
twice.
3.
Yeah.
Sony have charged his credit card twice for it.
And they
So
banned him for
he's
it.
rang up to say, look, can you give us the money back? You've obviously
Yeah.
made a mistake. And they banned his PSN.
Holy fuck.
No
fucking-
access to anything.
Bad guy Sony.
What I mean, they just don't give a fuck anymore. They're trying to...
Who's the Sony CEO? We need to know, because if we're going to refer to Phil Spencer as good guy Phil
Good guy,
Spencer,
Phil
I'll
Spence.
find out.
we need to...
Half bad guy, whatever.
yeah.
Bad guy, Japanese dude, whatever he's called.
It'll be Sony Europe, won't it? It'll be...
Yeah, it's a pretty shit thing, because imagine if, let's just say you bought all your shit online. You've got like, maybe 25 games, and then your account gets banned.
Yeah, you don't have them.
That's a lot of money as well
Yeah.
to have wasted. If that happened to me, I'd like just drop my PlayStation
So
control.
is it like a full on permaban?
Full on permaban.
Wow.
God bless Sony.
So yeah, by all accounts, he doesn't have any of the shit on that anymore because he'll
Andrew
never get
House.
back on that account. Andrew House,
Bad guy Andrew House.
Yeah.
Bad guy Andrew House. You're a terrible man.
dickhead.
I hope your dog gets raped.
Again, off Cooper.
And on that note, I think dog rape ends it like.
Yeah.
Unless you guys go
In fact, you know what? This doesn't end it because it won't be off you, it'll be off him because he's Andrew the dog raper house. That's who he is.
Andrew Dig Rape House.
Yeah.
Dig rape.
Dig, raped me dig.
We should send him a letter.
Yeah.
From the
Dear
film,
Mr.
we
House, here is a photograph of my dog. I'm sending it to you because if he ever gets out and he's found in the street, under no circumstances will you rape him. He is a beloved family pet.
Send the same photo to Phil Spencer and he'll return it to you like.
Say, hey,
Well, let's
Probably
say,
give your
nice
dog a
dog.
bath. Aye. Bring him
dear,
back.
dear Phil, if my dog is missing in the street,
Please look after him until I can come collect him. Here's your dog back, Andy. I've got him a gold-plated fucking collar.
We've been chilling playing Battlefield
Yeah.
together.
He's had a nice bit of sirloin steak for his tea.
But bad guy Andrew House.
I had to, Andrew House kept trying to get him out the garden, so I had to bring him inside. Right, that definitely ends it.
I've been Kate, not a crook McCann.
I've been Jerry Big G McCann.
And I'm afraid it's about time for my satellite league to end and me to continue being the world champion of hide and seek. That's
Bye.
it from me, Maddie.